Welcome to the very first episode of Mindcraft by Anmol. This is a space where mental fitness meets personal mastery. With the stories, insights, and conversation, we aim to add values to your life. Today, I have this absolute honor of inviting somebody who has had more than 20 years of experience in interior designing, corporate training, and soft skills. Watch this podcast to discover the magic that happens when design meets depth. Hi Akshata, welcome
Hello.
to the very first podcast of Mindcraft. It's such a pleasure to have you here. And just to give my viewers a glimpse of how do I know you, I've known Akshata since 1.5 years. Back then, I had my marketing agency, and that's how we got connected. As much as I know about her, she wears a lot of hats. She's a designer, she's a trainer, she's a leader, she's a writer. Akshata, I want to know how did you manage to bring all of these together? One
How?
line. Yeah,
Yes, just one line. See, all this comes with time, one at a time. I just prioritized, that's all. Every time had its own demand, and that I just filled it with the need.
great. You know that I am from psychology background, right? And
Yes,
when we study psychology, it's always we go to the roots. So
yes.
I want to know, firstly, you introduce yourself, and then I want you to talk about your childhood.
Well, I'm Akshata, and yes, I'm an interior designer, creative writer, and a corporate trainer. My childhood, I was born in Maharashtra, I was raised in Hubli. Um, Being my second name Kammar, yes, it was a business house, a business family. So very fortunate to be born there. And yes, it's God's grace. At a very early age, I was quite well associated with my uncles, aunts. It was, they never treated me like a toddler or a youngster or a growing up kid. Everything was quite openly discussed on the dinner table with us. So that gave me that kind of an exposure at a very early stage, very, very early stage. I didn't have to go and graduate and find out all these things, that all these things of business, these parts, the pros and cons of business existed. It was quite clear in my head, yes, this is it, how this goes, and how industries come up together, how businesses flow, what are trade, what is trading, what is an agency. All this was quite clear to me. I never had to figure this out. It was like very well introduced to me, and part by part, little by little, how transports work, what is like, what is, the labor movement, what is an union. Everything was quite very easily served on the dinner table for me. So it was quite easy to absorb and understand.
Great, great. Tell me one thing. At what point in time you felt that you are fit to be an interior designer? So there's one point in
Well,
everybody's life
mm,
where they get that thing. So when did you feel that you can be an interior designer or you're made for it?
yes, this is quite an intriguing question because during my time, interiors was a new course. Very few people knew about it. They didn't even know it was like, okay, it is designing. Why do we need to design our homes? So that was not, it didn't have that much of, leverage, or it didn't have that much of ground reality then when I did my interiors. But this was a new thing, so I wanted to try my hands there. And what made me feel I could do this better is the joy. Whenever we had guests coming in or cousins to come to sleep over, we had to make this minor displacements of furniture, like, clear an area for an extra bed, shift the tables, shift the couches or the sofas, put back the chairs so that we have a lot of, circulation area for the guests who come in to feed them, and if we want to have sleepovers. Those little circulation changes and displacement gave me a little bit of joy. It was a joy of newness, it was the joy of accommodating people and making small flower pots for them, just decorating the home and everything, like. And I used to wait for these chances to, celebrate this displacement and this moment. Then that made me realize ki I can do this better. So that is why I think I must have chosen this.
Great. Uh, what were the struggles in your way? What were the difficult times you have faced, and how did you deal with it?
Every new path is bumpy. Every new road is bumpy. So sometimes you have to speed up, sometimes you have to go slow, and sometimes you have to wait and watch. So those times were there during interiors, during training, during my corporate experience, during writing. It accompanied me everywhere. But at that time, like I could just say persistence and the
Mm.
joy. I knew somewhere end of the road there was happiness, there was joy, and there was something which I wanted. So I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
carried out that. Yeah.
great. Uh, as much as I know, you've been recognized as one of the top three managers pan India.
Yes.
Uh, what helped you climb that ladder, corporate ladder?
Okay. Mm, See, corporates and MNCs and their work culture is too demanding and they
Mhm.
are quite precise. Punctuality. You need to have more than your experience, hard work, education, qualification. This is quite mandatory. But apart from this, if you might get paid well with your qualification, but if you want to climb the ladder, as you say, or level up your career, or get promoted, or get appraised, then there are two things which you really have to be aware of. One is your communications and soft skills. Yes, this is an added skill which helps you to be recognized, which helps you to, cater to all the demands, to helps you to bridge gaps, to negotiate, to understand. Yes, communication and soft skill. The second thing is you should always be open to take up opportunities.
Mhm.
May it be anything without thinking twice how it's going to be. Is it going to be tough? How am I going to get paid there? How am I going to relocate? No. You have to be ready to compromise and take up every opportunity that comes up to you there. And that open mindedness, helps you gauge through and it gives you a lot of open window opportunities. And I grabbed them all. I grabbed them all.
As we are now talking about the corporate ladder, tell us where have you worked and how was your experience working in that specific area?
Well, it was a leading industry in interiors
Mhm.
and I joined as a senior designer, as I said, during COVID, wherein private practices and freelancers and most of business owners of my community had nothing much to do because we had to go to homes and commercial areas and social distancing was put up. So when this thing came up, I just tried my hands on joining as a senior designer and every year was a promotion. Like I come into that 1% of the global population in my industry, wherein every year taking a promotion is something which is not understood and it's something rated as it's overrated. But
Yeah.
yes, I was fortunate enough, as I said, those two things helped me, and I wanted to explore this area. This was new to me, and COVID-19, I won't complain during that pandemic. This was the new energy which was taking in for me.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Uh, like you said, you got four promotions in 4 years, and
Yes,
not everybody gets that opportunity, or not everybody
yes.
climbs that ladder.
Not
So, what
everybody
was your,
takes that opportunity.
yeah, what was your mindset? Because that's another level of hustle. There's another level of hard
Yes,
work, commitment, responsibilities, and all of that that comes into the picture. How was your
yes.
mindset at that point of time?
Initial days, I would say it was full of fear and scary. I
Mm.
would openly admit that because it was all onto this software proficiency. In my
Yeah.
field, it was more onto hands on sketches, interaction with people, going onto sites, talking to the labor and the contractor community. So it was a very different world I was coming from.
Mm.
And coming into corporate, it was much more organized with their key responsible areas. We had a lot of various commands in place wherein you had to take that energy to them. Everything was well documented, recorded, wherein you had to put up everything and you had timelines and targets for everything. You had to maintain that frame. You had to
Mm.
maintain it was like nothing was to your wish and will. So
Right.
it was that kind of a thing. Then Once I got hands on understanding on that punctuality, on those agreements, on those disciplines of routine,
Hmm.
curiosity took up. That nature of being curious, okay, now I learned, okay, so here,
Hmm.
that made me more organized, more structured. And I said,
Right.
wow, I could do so much in so much time. It was a new recognition to self. Then I thought, chalo, let me try what the next level is. So it was like a gaming thing. You always want to explore the level up, the next level.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that ambition and curiosity got me getting all the promotions and reaching to the general manager level.
This curiosity gave me another perspective to think. Uh,
Yes.
People of my age, and I too face this problem, we in a way lack motivation. Sometimes we lack productivity. And to you have maintained that pace of going on for 4 years, every year, one promotion. And how do you maintain your level of motivation and productivity?
Curiosity was that. Ambition was the second thing. Third one is like, you like those titles which are written, Akshata
Okay.
Kammar, Senior Designer, Akshata Kammar, Business Development Manager, Akshata Kammar, Creative Writer, Akshata Kammar.
Right.
That, makes you feel a little applauded, happy. It was like wearing a new accessory with yourself. Yeah. So those accessorizing your name, see, I don't know, women of all ages love accessorizing themselves. It's not just a good dress which makes them happy.
Yeah.
So here I had a chance to accessorize my name, giving myself new titles, to new covers. I think that was one thing which really made me happy. And I kept going for that.
Nice, nice. That's beautiful perspective.
Yes.
Because a lot of us, we are not aware of the path, and sometimes it's
Mm.
not the curiosity and all of lot many other things come into the picture. We get distracted a lot. Yeah, that
Yes.
that prevents us from like keeping the motivation. And what I get from this conversation is that motivation is comes from discipline. So the
Yes.
more you keep doing things, even though you lack motivation, it's more important that you keep up with what you're doing and not let your mood affect your work. Yeah.
Mm.
We'll take a small break now and
Yes.
actually divided this entire podcast into three segments: episode one, episode two,
Mm.
episode three. So we shall be finishing this episode here itself, and we shall meet in the second episode.
Sure. Bye.